turned 13, I've been doing my own thing, making my own moves, 24/7, 365. I wear what I want, say what I want, and I will not hesitate to do a spontaneous cartwheel if I feel so moved. Crap! Not to brag, but being 13 means I'm officially a grown-up, at least according to the Toronto Transit Commission.
Good for you.
Was a clip from the wonderful new Pixar movie coming of age story. It's called Turning Red. The film follows Maitreyi, a Canadian teen, navigating her way through a life with the pressures of family, friends, and school, all while coming to terms with her own emotions.
Yeah, lots of emotions. We are thrilled, to say the least, to speak with the film's cast today, the incredible Sandra Oh, Maitreyi Ramakrishnan, and Rosalie Chiang. Welcome our first guests in studio here.
It is very surreal to have you here, and we are so delighted to have you as our first in-studio guest. Sandra, I really want to start with you. I'm curious as to when you first read the script, what was it about it that made you say, I definitely have to be a part of this project?
It's the subject matter. We spent an entire Pixar film with a 13-year-old Chinese-Canadian girl and her inner life, which includes messiness, which includes big emotions, and which includes a complex relationship with her mother. I just wanted to tell that story.
And a giant panda.
And a giant panda. And a giant panda.
There's that. Several at some point. Let's talk about the power of representation in this film. And it is something that is so near and dear, certainly to us. But this is an Asian-led Disney Pixar film, the hero of the story, a teenage girl, no less. Okay, Rosalie, you play Maitreyi. This story, to bring her to life, what did that feel for you? And we were talking off camera that you started this as such a young girl and coming into a woman yourself. What was this journey like for you, sort of professionally and personally?
I mean, to call it a journey is very correct, because I started this when I was 12 and I ended on my 16th birthday, actually. They were able to schedule it there. We had a little party and stuff. But the fact that I was literally May's age and I was literally coming of age throughout the recording of this movie. So to go through that and kind of have Turning Red as my guide towards puberty and all these weird, messy emotions. And I'm just very glad to be able to start from the beginning of production and grow with May and basically become May.
I mean, it was just so wonderful to watch these wonderful female characters come to life. And Maitreyi, you are no stranger to playing characters in the kind of coming of age storyline. And your character is Priya, and she is like, I just love her energy. She was just so she loves herself. She's confident. I read that you dreamed of being a part of a Pixar movie since the age of 10. So what was this like for you?
Yeah, this has all been amazing. Honestly, it only hit me, I was talking to Rosalie, it only really hit me yesterday that I voice a Pixar character that will forever be in history. Like, I could be in my 30s and I'll say, well, that character was voiced by me. Wow. And I don't think that magic will ever fade. From 10 till now, I've gone through lots of highs and lows, lots of panda moments where I know for sure when I was 17, I really thought I was a failure for not being able to do my portfolio and having that patience that all the animators at Pixar do. Shout out to them, because they've been working on this way longer than I have been, so big shout out to them. But it felt like a failure, because I was like, I disappointed my 10-year-old self. Now, if I could have a time machine, I would tell my 17-year-old self, dude, stop crying, it's embarrassing. And then I would tell my 10-year-old self, good job, we did it.
I love that. Well, listen, this speaks to us. Yes, it's International Women's Day, but the film is about those very, very complex relationships between mothers and daughters. And I say this as I had told you, it's my daughter's 8th birthday today, of all days. Sandra, you play Maitreyi's mother, Ming, and we see in the film that, you know, she's trying to strive to be the very best, the perfect daughter, living up to all of those really high expectations as well. Did you have any of your own upbringing come to bear in this film on either side of those roles? How much of that played out in your role?
Sure. I think that to pick up on the term of high expectations, I think many of us understand that, particularly those of us with Asian backgrounds, our parents and our mothers usually have extremely high expectations on that. And I think the journey for Ming in understanding her daughter through this very, very precious time and difficult time of adolescence is to understand that we as adults and as parents and as mothers might be putting a little bit too much expectation on them. And, you know, to see this, again, the film is, this is the hero. These are the girls who are in it, and that they're doing great. And we should, the way that they need our support, we might need to adjust to that. So for me, my own background of, like, my mother had extremely high expectations, but like May, I had to defy them. And here I am with you today. So it all worked out so far.
I want to talk more about this fantastic group of female friends, because so often I feel like in movies of days gone by, there was always like a kind of dynamic that was like, had a rotten element to it. But this group of girlfriends, like, they have each other's backs in this really powerful way. And they're all smart and ambitious and in their own way. I want to talk to both of you. Is this something, you know, navigating the world today, is this something that you lean on your girlfriends in a way that was very similar to this dynamic? We'll start with Rosalie.
For sure. I have my own squad back home, which I've known literally my entire life. And, you know, I've had friends come and go throughout my life, but that group has stuck by me. Even when I kind of left and moved away, when I came back, they welcomed me with open arms, and I'm just so grateful for them.
How about you, Maitreyi?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the importance of female friendship in film and TV is very, very near and dear to my heart because it is really important. I'm so glad that we're moving in this direction where we're not having this whole women against women narrative. I'm really sick and tired of it because when I was growing up, that was the narrative, right? Your romantic interest is somehow closer to you and knows you better than the best friend that has known you since kindergarten. Never made sense to me, but that was what was instilled in my brain. And growing up, that leads to, let's be honest, internalized misogyny, where you're walking down, you know, the school hallways saying, oh, well, I actually hang out with guys mainly because they're just less dramatic than girls. And I say that because I used to be that girl, and that was my cringe era. If I'm, like, genuinely gonna be honest and reflect on what I think is the cringiest part of my middle school self and high school self and just any part of that journey is that.
The kind of self-criticism.
That's my self-criticism because I look now and I'm like, wow, female friendships. I love my guy friends too. They're my homies, love them to death. But my female friends, they're gonna get me in a way that they just can't, and that's okay. And now I lean on them so, so much. They are like my sisters. You know, female friendship is so important, and I'm very glad my little cousin's gonna see this. And hopefully she skips that phase. Hopefully a lot of girls skip that phase, and it's cool to have the girl gang. You know?
Yeah,
You know, on this International Women's Day, it just speaks to, again, who is controlling that narrative and who is in charge of the storytelling. And our film, it has an all-female leadership. So that's exactly why you're feeling that it's changing. It's because the people who are making it actually come from that point of view. So we understand, and we understand what the female friendships with. I recently saw my best friend. I have known her. I've been friends with her for 44 years.
Wow.
Right? Older than anyone on the set.
I'm 44.
Okay, right? So I met her. Do you know what I mean? So these are the things that sustain us and nurture us. And the fact that there's, again, an entire film that says your girlfriends are going to be there for you. Some might move away, but I can tell you from my experience with my group of friends growing up in Nepean, Ontario, I'm very, very close with all of them still.
Wow, nice.
We have to mention one of the stars of the film, which is Toronto. We are here. Rosalie, I know this was your first time coming here. We hope you're enjoying. But we got two Canadians on the panel. Like, talk about what it was like, because as a viewer watching Toronto take front stage was so lovely. I kept looking for little things. Of course, it's set in the 2000s, so Sky Dome is there. Talk about like what it was like to see Toronto reflected in this way.
Well, like you said, Toronto is like a whole character in this film. I mean, we've both been feeling the love since we've been back with Dundas Square showing a welcome home, Sandra, welcome home, Maitreyi billboard.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's really nice to see because it's that, like, you know, that nice deep connection of like, this is home. This is it. Oh my gosh, I know these streets. Oh my gosh, like, this is the natural diversity that I walk through every day of my life, and it's normal in a Pixar movie nonetheless. Like, we're rolling with the big leagues here. Right?
mean, you're from Ottawa,
yes.
but like you obviously worked so much here.
Yeah, oh no, I lived in Toronto. I lived in Toronto here in my early 20s, a very, very formative age. And I remember the opening scene when you see May walking along, on the streetcar and getting off the streetcar. I watched that and I was with Domi and we're like, I know that is Spadina and Dundas. I know that exact corner.
Wow.
I think it's exciting for not only Torontonians, all Canadians, honestly, to see one of our wonderful cities also animated so beautifully.
Yeah.
There's so much pride and love that Domi and all of Pixar have brought to this film that I think is displayed so magnificently in the film. It's like, it's so exciting. Also the Easter eggs that are planted within it that I think a Canadian will recognize.
Yeah,
There's also like a maple leaf in at least every frame.
I know.
Notice that.
A lot of maple leaves everywhere, and I love it.
Notice that. We could talk to you all day. We just want to say we are so excited, so proud, and so thankful to be able to speak with you about this amazing project. So thank you, Sandra, Maitreyi, and Rosalie for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Okay, this is the really important part, okay? Everybody, Turning Red. Disney and Pixar's Turning Red, streaming exclusively on Disney Plus March 11th. You have to watch it.